Mom, and she's going to tell you here in just a minute about Dominic, who was killed by an illegal alien. But what we're going to do first of all, so there's going to be 5 panel members, but I figured, I didn't even check this out. I said, let's have a 6th panel member. So let's take, you can carry the picture over there.
Yes.
I'll carry the chair because you're going to be over here. So we're going to bring Dominic over here, and he's going to sit next to his mom while she moderates this. And you want to put him right out there. And this is Dominic's ashes. So Dominic's going to sit here.
He's going to sit right with me.
And he was a dispatcher for
the Riverside Sheriff's Department 911 communications.
So he knows what he's doing. So he's
That's
all
right.
right
We'll
right
leave
there.
him right
so
there.
we'll leave him right there for a minute.
Thank you.
And what we'll do is, this is going to be a panel on illegal immigration. And if we said that or illegal alien, we were in New York right now, we could get fined for $250,000.
We already at 500,000. Illegal alien, illegal alien,
So,
illegal
yes.
alien,
Well,
illegal alien.
we're not in New York.
1 million.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step off the stage and I'm going to let Sabine announce all the people that are going to be on here, but God bless you and Godspeed.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
We love her. All right.
Thank you. Well, let me sit. First of all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Katja and Alex and Tom for putting this amazing event together, to give us a voice. Thank you for spending your time with us. I'm Dom's mom, Sabine. I'm a legal immigrant from Germany. Brought my son with me, and we didn't climb over any fences. We didn't dig underneath any tunnels. We came the legal way, and it took me 6 years to become a citizen. And Dominic became a 911 dispatcher. He was also a pilot, a volunteer firefighter, and just enjoyed his life. Dominic was my only child, love of my life, my best friend. We shared a household. We had lots of fun. We rode our motorcycles. And on July 12, 2012, as he was going to work on his motorcycle, an illegal alien with 2 felonies, 2 DUIs, 1 deportation, took his unlicensed, unregistered, uninsured truck and turned it in front of Dominic and hit him head on and killed him instantly. It threw his body in a wall on the sidewalk where he lay dead at 30 years of age, taken out of a beautiful life. I was out of town. I get that horrible call. I'm so sorry to inform you your son had been killed. That day changed my life forever. And the bottom line still is, if it wasn't for Donald Trump, our president, we wouldn't talk about this. He's the one that brought this to the forefront. And I wish I was the only victim. But sadly, I'm not. I have these wristbands that people wear. This is just a handful of other people's children that have been killed. And then I have friends. They are the angel moms. And my friend Maureen Maloney, she's here with me. She's angel mom of Matthew. She's also the vice president of AVIAC, Advocates for Victims of Illegal Alien Crime. We have Cayenne Michael. She's the angel mom of Brandon. And the founder of the Brandon Randolph Michael Foundation. Our next guest is Anna Polina. She's a patriot, veteran, conservative, Latina. She's an activist and is now running for Congress in Florida 13. And last but not least, we have Ben Bergquam. He has traveled the United States. He interviewed many of us, and he has a video that we will show a piece of, but he's the host for Frontline America and America's Voice. This is the hardest conversation. This is a rough topic because this is every parent's nightmare. If you haven't lost a child, you cannot imagine this pain that goes on 24/7, 365 days For us, it's intensified because every day we see a new victim. We hear of another Dallas man killed somebody. Because now they don't use the word illegal alien anymore. They use the term undocumented immigrant, which upsets me because I'm a legal immigrant. If I drive without my license, I'm an undocumented immigrant. They are illegal aliens, and we're going to keep it that way. I shared how my son was taken from me, and I would like Maureen to share how Matthew was ripped from her family's life.
So I want to thank everybody for being here this afternoon. And there was a time that I was, like most of you here, I was totally unaware of the pain and suffering that comes with losing a child. But unfortunately, my son Matthew Denise, who was 23 and had recently graduated college, was killed by an illegal alien. Matthew was riding his motorcycle in a residential area, and a drunk, unlicensed, criminal illegal alien who had been drinking all day and was driving with his 5-year-old son in the truck, ran through a stop sign, and his truck collided with Matthew's motorcycle. It was a low-impact collision because it was in a residential. Matthew landed on the windshield and had rolled off the truck, and witnesses testified to the fact that Matthew was getting up out of the road when the illegal alien decided to flee, and he put his foot on the gas pedal and he ran Matthew over. Matthew got lodged under the truck in the wheel well, and he was dragged a quarter of a mile to his death. The illegal alien ran over a curb, and Matthew became dislodged, and he backed up over Matthew again and continued to flee. Matthew was left dying on the sidewalk. In the blink of an eye, his life was over. Our family, as we knew it, was destroyed, and we are permanently separated from Matthew. And sadly, this is a story that happens all too often.
Cayenne, share with us about your beautiful Brandon.
Sure. And my husband's right there on the front row.
Yes,
Brandon's
Bobby.
dad. 20-year Navy veteran. We're a retired military family. Our 21-year-old son, Brandon Randolph Michael, was on his lunch break going to cash his paycheck in the city of Jacksonville. So that's not a border where we're all border cities now. But at the time this happened on August 15, 2007, we weren't necessarily a border town, but it shows you how much illegal activity has impacted our interiors of our nation. But Brandon was on his lunch break going, like every 21-year-old, going to cash his paycheck. He was hit and killed by an illegal alien that came in through our southern border. He had been twice deported, came back into our community, and hit Brandon in his car, causing Brandon's car to flip. Brandon died, and he watched him die. He got out of the car, the illegal alien did, got out of the car and watched our son take his last breaths. He didn't do anything to get him any help. He didn't do anything to help him himself. And then he denied that he was actually driving. So as parents, here we are, the worst tragedy you could ever go through, as you said before, Sabine, every parent's worst nightmare is actually happening. We're hearing that news, and now you're telling us that because the state now has to prove that he was behind the wheel, we have to go through a trial.
Right.
So the shock of having to go through that, on top of losing unexpectedly your child that just left the house totally healthy.
Yeah. It's
engaged to be married.
right.
It's unthinkable.
It stops everything. There are no more pictures. There are no more events.
No.
There is no more of that with your loved one. So if you, for 1 second, you close your eyes and you imagine the one person you love the most. Imagine them just being ripped out of your life. You never get to hear them laugh, talk, kiss them, hug them. Nothing. It's done. It's over with. And before I go to our other two panel members, I want to tell you guys real quick how our justice system is so screwed up. The guy who killed my son was an illegal alien, 2 felonies, armed robbery, grand theft, 2 DUIs, which he received probation for 5 weeks prior because, well, I guess illegal, driving without a license, it's okay, and drunk. He received a misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter without gross negligence. The judge knew him, the DA knew him in California because it's a sanctuary. It was a sanctuary city before they named it. And the guy got 35 days in jail. Just imagine if by accident, not on purpose, by accident, you hit somebody and they die. Do you think you're going to get 35 days? No. Maureen, what happened to your son's killer?
So it took us 3 years to finally get a trial. They apprehended his killer. But at one point during the trial, he was declared mentally incompetent because he only had a second-grade education and didn't speak English. It took us 9 months, and 9 months of me really pestering and keeping after the DA's office to have that decision overturned to proceed with the trial. He did receive 12 to 14 years in jail. However, you get your sentence reduced by about 30% for good behavior, and the bar is pretty low as long as you don't kill an inmate or an assault a security guard. The guards there, you get time off for good behavior. So it's been 8 years, so he probably will be getting out within the next year.
What about you, Kyan? What about Brandon?
Well, after going through the trial, and we finally had a police officer come forward and point him out. He was out of the nation and didn't know that we were looking for anyone because we had to go back to the scene of where our child took his last breath and with our local news station and ask for witnesses, beg them to come forward. And finally a policeman did, pointed him out. And keep in mind that this illegal alien looked at us, looked at our family, looked in our eyes as parents, looked at his grandmother, his aunt and uncle sitting in that courtroom week after week after week. Yeah. If I sound angry, I am angry about this because these are totally avoidable.
Yes.
And after he was found guilty, he was only sentenced to 2 years. So at that time, he only had 7 more months to serve. He was deported for now the 3rd time, ordered to pay restitution, which was a joke.
Right.
We knew we would never see it.
Never see a dime.
And we don't know that he may be back in our city again.
That's right, yeah. So you hear 3 of us. There are thousands of us. It happens every day. And it's not just, I mean, we are really the extreme. It's not just death. And I come back, I circle back around and ask you if you had any incident with an illegal alien. Because everybody here and out there has contact with illegal aliens, whether you like it or you don't, or you know it or you don't. Every day, they are amongst us, and it changes things. But I don't want to leave out beautiful Anna Paulina. Please share why you were with us.
So about a year ago, I made the decision to forego medical school and take a national outreach position with one of the largest political organizations currently in the country. And because of my work, not just working with this organization, but then launching my own and then working with various Hispanic movements across the nation, became the largest conservative Hispanic activist in the country. 110%, we shouldn't be up here telling these people's stories because it should be an American ideology to back what these women are doing to protect America and put Americans first. I'm first and foremost a Chicana. My great-grandfather fought next to Pancho Villa for the Hispanic Revolution, and I've served my country, and in doing so, not speaking up, I would have gone against my oath of enlistment to not only uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, but protect American citizens from the people that would seek to hurt them. So that is why I'm here today. These women, 110% should have the backing by the media, but their stories are silenced. Hispanic Americans nationally are silenced via the left and mainstream media. My campaign was silenced like Laura Loomer's because I am a conservative Hispanic activist. And all of you have the opportunity and the chance to make a difference, and it shouldn't just be us. We should be working together as a team, and that is why I am here today.
We have to really back candidates like her. We have to get behind our president, and the word illegal alien is not a racist word, it's not a cuss word. There's nothing wrong with that word. That's the legal terminology.
Yes.
And as long as we whisper about it and just lower out, oh, it was an illegal. Don't do that. Talk about it. This affects all of you. Who you think is in our schools, driving on our roads, taking from our welfare system, $330 billion worth every year that could go to our own. And it's an insanity on steroids, what's going on. And how people can still defend that while they go march for immigrants, while they step over our homeless veterans, children in need, infrastructure falling apart. It can't go on this way. It has to end. And we're no longer asking Congress. We're demanding it. We're tired of it. Yes. Now I get to Ben Bergquam. Ben Bergquam, I've known him for quite some years, and this man travels America and talks to the left, and I'm always amazed because I'm waiting for the moment where he's going to lose it and snap. But he doesn't. They can, whatever they want to say, they throw it at him, and he just smiles and tells him, God bless you. And I'm just amazed. And why don't we show you a clip to introduce you before you tell us more about yourself?
All right. Morning, guys. So this is our first video. We're back in Tijuana. This is where we came today to show you. They've actually done some upgrades since the last time I was here. But those are the border wall prototypes. We got border wall prototypes. It's time to get to the bottom of who's leading this illegal invasion.
So why does the National Lawyers Guild protect groups like Antifa, by any means necessary, all the anti-American leftist groups?
Association with by any means necessary.
You protect them. You protect Antifa.
We do not
Oh, you
know
do.
who they are. We are not associated with them. Okay, get that straight
You
right
are.
now.
You are.
No, we are not.
But that's why.
She came up to me because
Right, she knows who you are.
Somebody's been handing out flyers with my picture on them.
Wow.
Saying that I'm a Trump
Oh,
supporter.
it's the same tactics they use in Berkeley. It's the same. These are the same organizers, the
And she's
leftist
very
organizers.
concerned, but yet this little girl that I got right here has been begging me for food for 3 days and for water. And
Yeah.
they know that I care. That's why they come up to me like this.
Yeah.
You know, and what is that woman doing for me?
Nothing.
Yeah, she's questioning me what
Nothing.
I'm doing here.
Yeah, nothing.
You know?
She's doing absolutely nothing. The National Lawyers Guild is doing absolutely nothing other than undermine America. Yeah. Yeah. She, as soon as I started filming, she said, "Don't show my face." Have fun, Will. All right. So Will is going up trying to interview these. Now they're taking their hats off. Hang on, I gotta go. Let's just take a little break from this. Hang on, this is great.
So we'll track down our friends. We'll track down our friends. It's funny they're taking. Why are the hats off now? Why are the hats off? National Lawyers Guild. Why are the hats off?
I just want to know. But are you here to protect people from the police? Because most of the time,
Why don't you? What do you mean you have representatives? Why don't
most
you
of the
talk?
time, every time you
I know,
show
but
up to
because
the location,
what's your
that's-
talking
that's-
point?
that's been-
Hand over the booklet that you're
So,
going to read from.
so this is the woman that had the hat on. Now she's trying to sneak out of here. Get out of her hat. It's time to get to the bottom of who's leading this illegal invasion and tell the real story of caravans of illegals crossing our border every day. For that, we travel to Arizona with my friend Tim Foley of Arizona Border Recon. This is one of the trails Tim's talking about, one of their favorite trails that comes through that's out of the view of the multi-million-dollar radar and video camera equipment.
That's like leaving cookies for the burglar.
There's the birds.
Yeah.
There's somewhere the dumb humanitarians come and leave the water. There, it's got the coordinates, 5811A.
Subin, awesome. You do incredible work, and you go where, well, the mainstream media sure won't go, never. And you expose all of this. Tell us more about what you've been doing.
That's the beginning of our first short documentary, America at War. And we've got, the second one has already been, it's out there. We've got our third one we're working on now. And what people don't understand is how ancestral this attack, this invasion is. I sit up on this panel because I get to. I have 2 young daughters, and I don't want to be an angel dad.
Yes.
They sit on this panel. They don't have the choice. They don't have the choice anymore. And there are thousands of other American citizens across this country that no longer have the choice because of criminal politicians in our country and leftist organizations who have put the needs of illegal aliens above American citizens. And we live in a world right now where saying that term will get you banned on Facebook and it'll give you a $250,000 fine in New York City while American citizens are being killed. I look at what's going on, and I'm truly honored to be able to be up here with a veteran and families that have paid the ultimate price. So I do this because I love our country. I love our country, I love my family, and I don't want to have to go through what they've had to go through. But what gets me is this insanity. Our federal government, that term, I just want to talk about that real quick. Illegal alien. The silencing of you. They're trying to silence me. They're trying to silence everybody who's effective. Anybody who's on a platform that's effective at exposing the left and undermining their lies, they're going to try to come after you. Anna, you know this. Obviously, Laura Loomer, all of these people that are effective, they go after them. As soon as you become effective, they're going to come after you if they haven't already. And once they take us out, there's nobody else to speak. They talk about Russia collusion, which was an absolute lie. The real collusion, election collusion that every American citizen needs to be worried about is silencing your voice through social media and through the media. The mainstream media. When I started doing this, we were going broke doing this. We went out because I cared. I just went out and was like, wait, all this stuff's going on at the border. Why don't I just go to the border and see? I took my camera, I went out there and did it on my own dime. I look at major mainstream news outlets that could be there. They have millions, if not billions of dollars of budget, and they're not there. And you know why they're not there? Because they don't want you to know the truth.
That's right.
That is the bottom line. The term illegal alien is the federally recognized term to describe somebody who is in our country without authorization. It is not hate speech. It is the right term to use. It is the journalistic appropriate term to use.
That's right. Thank you, Ben.
And I reject their premise. So I'm honored to be up here. We'll talk a little bit more about all that stuff. But that's why I do this. I love our country. And this is, if not the most important, one of the most important issues that we face in our country. If we are not a nation of walls and sovereignty, we are not a nation.
That's exactly it. And I implore you to please watch these videos. Join us online. Join us on Twitter. Any one of you could sit up here at any given moment. This doesn't happen just once a day. There are numbers floating around. I don't really like to use numbers because when I say it's 5, somebody says, well, prove it. It's just 3. Well, that's 3 too many. But it could be any one of you, and talk to people about this. Open your eyes in your neighborhoods. You see things. You know when something just isn't quite right. Or when you know the neighbor and his cousins and all that, it could be illegal. That doesn't mean, you have to hate on anybody, but when you notice something, say something, because it could save your life or your child's or your wife's life. Anybody here that had any incident with illegal alien? Anybody, ma'am?
When I was 16, in 1 week,
We should probably get a mic out there so we can
Yeah.
actually hear this if we're going to. Do we have a mic out there?
I thought we had one.
Anyone backstage? Get a microphone out here, because I want people to hear this. This is
Yes, that's
people
exactly
don't
what's
realize
happening.
this. Everybody is affected by this, not
Yes,
just your family.
that's right.
All of your extended family. Me, I'm
I would like to interject for a second here, though, because I do see that there's this impact here on this side, but let's also talk about the impact on the other side as well. First and foremost, Mexicans are not the only illegals in this country, okay?
No,
the reason and the
We'll get to
only
you.
reason in 2016 why this became an issue from a political propaganda perspective is because in 2020, the largest voting minority in this country will be Hispanic Americans, specifically the Mexican demographic, which is what I am. They don't care about the people who are getting trafficked. They don't care about the people on this side that are getting killed. They don't care about the children that are being rented. This is 110% political propaganda. And what is happening now is that they're not listening to these stories. They're not telling you about those that are trafficked. They're not even telling you or putting the stats out there that Yuma Border Patrol put out saying that basically at the border that there are thousands of bodies of people that die because they're encouraging people to come here illegally in the wrong way. Those people in politics right now, those commentators that are encouraging this to happen have the blood of innocent people on both sides of the border.
Absolutely
And that
right.
I think that is something that we need to not forget in addressing
That's right.
this topic.
That's right.
I want to jump in on that after she makes her
now
comment.
tell us
Hello.
your story.
When I was 16, which was 1982, in 1 week my father was hit by a drunk illegal, hospitalized. 3 days later, my mother was on the way to visit him at 8 a.m. in the morning, and she was T-boned by another drunk illegal who had 23 aliases and arrests. He ran away to Mexico. No one ever was held responsible. We certainly didn't have the kind of insurance we have today. And as I arrived to the hospital 10 minutes after my mom, I go to my dad's room and like, where's mom? And he's on the phone with the emergency room. And so now we go downstairs. She's laying there with 63 pieces of glass in her head. Then for the next 3 months, they were side by side in a room together. 3 months they were hospitalized. And I had to take care of myself and my little brother and learn how to write checks. And I mean, it's easy to go grocery shopping, but take care of the house. And nothing happened. And that was 30 years ago.
And still
Nothing
like that.
happens. Nothing.
That's right, and that's the saddest part.
This is the reality. And I heard this. I was in a meeting with sheriff's officers from across the country, and the acting director of ICE. We have not had immigration reform since Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. I mean, that's the insanity of what we're dealing with here. This has been a national crisis for decades, and nobody's done anything about it. And to have them tell these stories, what gets me, I've been on the border in Yuma. I've been everywhere, all across the border from Texas to California. I live in California, the communist state of California. Gavin Newsom needs to be in prison for aiding and abetting illegal aliens. And anybody,
yes, every
anybody
mayor.
who raised their right hand and swore the oath to uphold the Constitution from enemies, both foreign and domestic, and provide sanctuary to criminals within our country needs to be taken out of office and prosecuted. Every single one of them.
That's right.
I was there in Yuma. I was there, and I've seen this in multiple different places across our country. We found bags, so they come across, they bring fake documents, and then they leave the real documents behind at the border. They throw them, they leave the garbage there. We found bags with children's clothing, lubrication, and condoms all along there. There are children, every single child that's coming across.
Did you hear
Children's
that loud?
clothing, panties, girls' panties, lubrication, and condoms that were left at this border from so-called asylum seekers that are coming across the border. Every single one of those people is paying the cartel to come across. Everybody who supports open borders, indirectly or directly, is supporting the cartels. And for saying that, we are attacked. For exposing that. We have idiots like AOC going down to the Clint Border Patrol station. I was in that facility 2 days before she went there, saying that they're drinking out of a toilet, which is an absolute lie. And the media applauds them, doesn't even ask the questions. They do not do their job. I was in that facility. Those children that are coming across are mostly unaccompanied minors, but many of them were separated from fake parents.
Yeah.
Fake parents that are buying them in Mexico
That's right.
and in Central America. This is the insanity that we are dealing with. Instead of telling your story and the other people that raised their hand in the audience, we're hearing lies from politicians who shouldn't just be removed from office, they should be put in prison.
That's right. Who else else raised their hand? And it doesn't have, it wasn't a death, but it's enough to wipe out your savings and everything. Who else was affected by illegal immigration? Yes.
Hang on.
hold
We want to
on,
hear
hold
this.
on.
We want to hear
Hold
this.
My daughter, Toria Stevens, died of an overdose. 198 people die a day from drugs coming across that border. I was with these angel moms in Washington, D.C., meeting with President Trump. We have to, it's huge.
Yeah.
We have to save every life. We have to save our children. We have to protect America, and not just the southern border, but every single port
Right.
of entry in America needs to be secured.
That's right.
For our safety.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you for what
Thank
you're doing.
you. Thank you. Love you. Anybody else? There's one more.
Thank you, Taco, by the way.
Yeah.
Boots
Thank
on the
you.
ground,
Thank
like us
you.
for Trump. Thank you, sir.
I hope everyone here realizes that Catholic Charities
Yes.
goes on the border and hands out bus tickets wherever these illegals want to go. If they say they want to go to Miami, here's a bus ticket. There you go. There's your ticket to Miami. You want to go to Minnesota? Here's a bus ticket. Catholic Charities. There you go. Your little Catholic church in the corner. There you go. Think twice before you put money in that basket.
I will say this, what I'm seeing is a lot of people don't realize how much, even if they are trying to help, that is actually negatively impacting people that are actually attempting to make that very dangerous journey here. There are people that are 100% lied to, promise that they will be given work, whatever it might be, basically so that they can come here, and then essentially they're taken advantage of whether they're trafficked for labor or sexual purposes. What I'm finding is that the most effective communication strategy in changing someone's mind is really talking about what happens to those people. Anyone can sit there and say, deport all illegals, but that's not an effective messaging tool for actually getting people to realize why it's dangerous in the first place. And I caution all of you guys to really remember that, 18,000 women annually are trafficked into the United States from South America, Mexico, that children are the targets, and even members of the LGBT community. People don't want to talk about that. It's uncomfortable, but you need to talk about it. That's right. And that's really the most effective tool in changing hearts and minds for all of this.
And to that point, so the Catholic Charities is not the Catholic Church. They're a separate organization that was infiltrated by communists decades ago. Similarly to a lot of the fake churches, I call them fake churches in America, who are no longer preaching the gospel. They're social justice facilities that teach communist propaganda. There are many, but there are many churches, so-called churches in our country, who are aiding and abetting, directly aiding and abetting, and that's part of the work that we're doing, is uncovering these organizations that use their 501c3s to undermine America from within. But that, Anna, your point is so good, because there are so many people. Like, if I lived in Guatemala, I was down there a few months ago. There's that's a country with a huge opportunity, but an incredible amount of corruption. If I saw this great country to the north, where there are politicians in our country that's saying, come on up, we'll help you get here, and there's people that are inviting them to come up here, I don't blame a lot of the people that are coming here, and most of them are coming for work.
If I was promised good and plenty, I'd go too.
Most of them are coming for work. I blame the people within this country, like you said, the organizations that are paying them, that are teaching them, that are enabling them to come here, and many of them are getting sex trafficked. Many of them are getting murdered along the way. And then many bad people are coming and then murdering people up here when they get here.
And it's not just these organizations. We have politicians that are doing nothing.
That's right.
Politicians that are creating loopholes.
That's
and
right.
I always say, why wouldn't these people come? We roll out the red carpet for them. We incentivize them. We help find a way for them to get across the border. They don't show up for their asylum hearings, and we don't go after them. We provide welfare for them. We educate their children. We give them health care.
That's right.
Why wouldn't they come here? But we have to go after the politicians and hold them accountable.
That in itself, in the welfare system, you offer illegals benefits or an opportunity to go into the welfare system. I grew up in the welfare system. It's not a fun system. It creates financial slavery basically your entire life, and you breaking out of that never happened. So they make false promises to a minority demographic that is literally going to be the largest voting minority in this country, and then in turn create single issue voters on issues that they will never fix. The Democratic Party is a corrupt party. They are using Hispanic Americans for their agenda because they could not sink their claws into the black demographic. Yes, that's uncomfortable to say, but I'm saying it because I love my people and I love this country.
And it has to be said. It has to. I want to touch on something. For us up here, for us angel moms, there are no more birthdays. There are no more Christmases. I'm getting married. My son can't walk me down the aisle. I don't have the grandchild I always wanted to spoil with a big old loud drum set to pay him back for all the ruckus he made. Dominic called himself German chocolate because he was born in Germany. He spoke fluent German. He was my best friend. He was funny. We played pranks on each other, tried to outdo each other. And I see the smiles when you hear that. And then you're going to walk and go home, and you get to hug your kids. You get to post pictures the next event. I don't have that anymore, and I see your tears. We don't have that anymore. No. And I wanna ask my fellow angel moms, because the after effect is nightmares, night terrors. It's driving, singing to a song, and all of a sudden something hits you and you break down. And I drive sometimes screaming at the top of my lungs just to let it out. I'm in a store, I see his favorite cereal. It's 7 years. Yeah. And I have to leave the store. We are bombarded 24/7. And this is just a little bit of my life. Guyan, share, your son was about to get married.
Yeah, our son was engaged to be married, and we should have been planning a wedding. And instead, we ended up planning a funeral. And the audacity, Bobby and I spoke in the House and in the Senate here in the state of Florida. We've worked with our Governor DeSantis, who is the best governor in America.
Yes.
What do you say?
Yes, yes.
To ban sanctuary cities, because
absolutely.
What we stand for as believers, is not on our watch. Is this going to continue? That's because we cry too many nights as mothers. We've carried these babies. They're always our babies. They're your babies for the moms and dads that's out there. This isn't easy for us to have to, every time we speak, Maureen, you recently spoke out and were booed by Americans. I mean, what we go through, we have to relive the worst day of our lives over and over. And I'm a former preacher, still a preacher in a different way, so you'll hear that coming out. Because the anger of it comes from the hurt, the deep pain and hurt, because we don't even take family photos. We can't even take family photos. It's simple things as when you're out doing grocery shopping, or you're just going out about your normal day, and someone asks you, well, how many children do you have?
Yes.
And it hits, and it's all over again. And because we love our nation, because we believe in America, we keep going and we keep enduring this over and over, because we know this cannot continue on.
Right.
We don't want you all to go through what we've gone through.
That's right.
Because it is the worst thing. You just don't want to outlive your children, and it should not happen. And we fight back.
That's right.
Is what we're doing. And to have a president that brought us to the forefront to say, to give us a name.
Yes.
Angel families. Yeah. And to have the love and the support finally, because nobody would have ever heard of us.
Right.
There are people here we've been talking to, my husband's been talking to since we've been here. They still had never heard of angel
Some people are just
parents.
Absolutely not clueless. It's just something very uncomfortable. You hear about it and then you put it away because you don't want to be in this position. Maureen, share about your after.
Well, I'll just use this morning, for example. I was sleeping in my hotel room, and it was early, and I heard a car, and it sounded like Matthew's car. And I woke up thinking, Matthew just pulled in the driveway, and I realized I'm not home. Matthew's not coming home. It was just a car that sounded like Matthew's, but you know, when you're in that dream state, I must feel like I'm with him, because the heartache is there every morning when you wake up and realize that your child is gone. You know, and it's very painful knowing that none of these deaths should have occurred. They were all preventable. They could have been prevented, and they should have been prevented, and the future deaths that are occurring today and tomorrow and the next day all should be prevented. And that's very hard, constantly hearing about new deaths, because it just,
It opens that wound.
I relive everything.
The minute we hear somebody else lost their child, their loved one, their father, mother, whoever in their family or friend, for our little scab that started forming out over our deep wound, it just rips it open again, and we know that pain. And there was something for 7 years now I've been hugging. Way too many angel moms and dads and brothers and sisters. There are too many of us, and I want to get to the point where nobody's going to call us to speak anywhere, where my phone is moths flying around and spider webs, and nobody cares anymore because it's fixed. And the only one who will fix it is our President Donald J. Trump. That's it. Nobody else will. Because if it was not for him, we wouldn't be known. Nobody would talk to us. It took me till Dominic was killed 2012. 2015, I got a call from the Trump team to meet him personally. And he listened, looked in my eyes, cried with us. There were a few other angel moms and angel dads. And he said, has anybody talked about this? Has the media? I said, no. So he gave us a platform right then and there. Until then, nobody. CNN, twice. That's all they wanted, twice. And then they try to trick you. I don't know how I got on MSNBC, but I did, and they tried to trick me with having an illegal on the panel telling me her child, her 4-year-old, is so scared of Donald Trump. Oh, okay, really, yeah. We believe all that. But we got tougher, and we're doing this not just for our kids and to share their stories, to keep them alive and keep their memory alive and their death not be in vain, but to protect other Americans. But we can't do it alone. You have to help.
And
you
Donald
can't
Trump
be afraid.
can't do it alone.
That's
Congress and the Senate is obstructing him every step of the way. So we need to vote those people out of office that are obstructing him. And those that stay in office, we need to let them know what we want. We want to build the wall. We want to go after people who overstay their temporary visa and deport them. They shouldn't be here. Take away government benefits. Go after the employers that are hiring these people. We need to go after
Here's
the root cause of the problem.
Here's a quick list, because I want to ask you for your magic wand. If I had a magic wand and I could just do this and fix it. You mentioned the E-Verify, the visa overstays, and DACA, cut it off, no amnesty for nobody. Because that's like, okay, if the burglar happened to be in your home for about a week while you're on vacation and you come back, that's like, okay, you get to stay because you've been here a while and you didn't break the vase. No, you got to go. You broke the law. No amnesty, stop citizens from voting, end birthright citizenship right now, because that's a big drawing point. We can't have illegals come here and drop their anchor babies. No, this is for our own people. It's not for anybody else. Speed up and clean up immigration laws, immigration courts, shut down all sanctuary cities and states. Let's spend the estimate $300 billion currently spent on illegals, spend it on our own. What else I got? Anybody, Ben, what else is on your wish list or your magic wand list?
Well, all of that. I think re-elect President Trump.
That's
is
that's
one.
the big yes.
That's number one.
That's number one.
If we don't, I love the sign.
Yeah, that's right.
Brian, I love the sign back there. That's what we need. We need to re-elect President Donald Trump in 2020. But we need to call these people out across our country. The leftists that have ignored this from the beginning, the organizations that are behind it, the politicians that are behind it, all of these people need to be called out. It needs to be criminal. Just like Mueller needs to be, we need handcuffs on these guys for the Russia collusion hoax and for the Ukrainian hoax, and all this stuff, Biden, all these people need to be arrested. But it goes back, Maureen, you were talking about the Democrats. It goes back to Republicans too. So look, my enemy, I know who my enemy is, and I don't expect them to be my friend. I try to convince a lot of people. There's a lot of ignorant people out there. And so I try to convince as many people that have open minds to listen. That's our job. We've got to do that. There's a lot of people that just don't know. They haven't heard. And if it's biblically speaking, if you haven't heard, then you can't act. You know, we have to teach people how to what's actually going on. But the Republicans, the worthless Republicans, we had the House, the Senate, and the presidency for 2 years. And Paul Ryan did nothing. And the reason he did nothing is because he was benefiting. The chambers of commerce in this country love illegal immigration. Democrats love illegals for their votes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Republicans, big business Republicans, love them for the business, for the cheap labor. And that has been going on for years. The reason many times we haven't fixed it is because both parties are winning. And the reason we don't hear about it is because the media doesn't want you to know. So one of the things is supporting real media. Our network, America's Voice News, is we're challenging the lies. We're going out there. And so at some point, we're going to defeat those fake news dinosaurs that need to go extinct, the mainstream media out there, and take back over. So I'd invite you to download the app, America's Voice app. But look at those outlets that are out there, and then everybody who's watching this, whether you're in the audience or you're at home and you're watching this, you have to do your part. You cannot sit back and say somebody else is going to do this. When politicians show up in your community and they support sanctuary cities, they need to be run out of town. We need these people. We had Maxine Waters out there saying, go chase them down in the restaurants. That needs to happen against the enemies of this country, including her.
And there's another thing I like to implore. When we talk about cheap labor, that goes the other way too. So if you need that add-on your house, make sure you hire an American company. Don't hire illegals. That's your part. If you can't come out and fight this, that's your part. Hire American, buy American. I was told when I first moved to the U.S. 25 years ago, I was told about illegal aliens, and it didn't make sense to me because I would have been so afraid to be in America without my alien resident card before I became a citizen. And they told me, well, don't hire the guys that are at Home Depot because if they come to your property and work and they break a leg, they're going to own your house. And that stuck with me. So I never hired an illegal. I always made sure they had paperwork, they had insurance, everything. Didn't know that one day I was going to be knee-deep, neck-deep in illegal immigration issues. But so you can do your own part. You're not saving any money. And if you have to pay 10 cents more for your avocado or grow your own, it's doable. We can live here in America without illegal aliens because it will benefit every American and every legal immigrant. Let's do that. Let's spread those news.
I would say also, if I could,
yes, absolutely.
You know, a prime example in my culture, and you know, we're most wanted because we're black conservatives, although we've been called white nationalists. Can't figure that one out. But I mean, it's been proven. Where I believe it was in the Carolinas at the chicken plant, when ICE went in and were allowed to do their job, got the illegals out of there, the very next day, black Americans were in line for those jobs. So Bobby and I, the message that we send within our own culture, because you have to really reach people, and this is why we're doing what we're doing, is this is affecting us the most, our culture the most. And the reason we hit that is because we tell people, stop voting stupid. Why do you keep voting for people who are not changing, who are anti-American? They're not held accountable. We have to hold them accountable to what their platform was. You said you were going to do it. Why didn't you do it? Look them in the eyes, and that's something that we can do, and I really encourage everyone here to do that. is we have to vote for candidates like Anna, and we have
That's
to
right.
vote for, and Laura,
That's
that
right.
we know will follow the American ways, that will support our president, that will change the direction of this nation. We have to empower people, encourage them, get out and vote.
That's right. That's
Within our
vote.
culture, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
That's what Bobby and I tell them, to not vote. Your silence is agreement.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And
Man.
don't be afraid
Killing it.
to get called racist. I get called racist. Really?
Yeah.
Then I get called Nazi because I'm from Germany. Then they call me, I say, throw in KKK because sometimes I like to use white sheets. But what I want to say with that is you're going to get called whatever. They want to shut you up and have you defend yourself for about 10 minutes, and then you forget what you were talking about in the beginning. Don't fall for it. You're not a racist when you want to take care of your own family, your household, your community, your city. Do that. And let's stop kidding ourselves. This is our last dance. We have to get Donald J. Trump back into office. Keep him in office, not back in. Keep him in office. Because the next one coming, I don't look good in a hijab. I don't want to cover my face. I just don't.
I don't
No,
either.
I don't want to do that. So, yeah.
You said that, Cayenne, but electing people,
Yes.
Anna Paulina,
That's it.
people that are willing to stand up and fight back for our country,
Yes.
that has to happen.
Right.
That has to happen. And these idiots that are there doing this impeachment, they need to be shouted out of their
Yes.
offices.
That's right.
People have to get outraged, just like we have crazy liberals running around screaming about nothing, crying about nothing just because they didn't get spankings when they were children that they needed. We need to start holding these people accountable.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we have about 2.5 more minutes. Any closing, this is my German coming through, thoughts? Ben?
I've said enough. I'll let
You-
everybody
okay.
else.
Anna?
It's important to remember, I say this anytime I get a chance on the media, but a secured border saves lives on both sides, and I think that that's really the take-home message for all of this. There's a lot of pain and heartache across every aspect of what's affiliated with this, and it's our responsibility to hold career politicians accountable for that and re-elect the President of the United States.
My closing thoughts would be encourage people, have a conversation, talk to people you don't think that would even want to listen. Continue to talk. Remember our children, because it could easily be you sitting right here, and we do not want that to happen. Remember why we stand for what we stand for. Remember that we have a responsibility, each one of us. It's not just the president. If we're speaking out, and we're speaking out in grief, make no mistake about it, it's not easy.
No.
We are grieving. I mean, this is hard. We support one another. We, embrace one another. I thank God my husband is here, but some of you all are traveling alone, and make no mistake, it's not easy. So if we're able to get out and make a difference and attempt to impact our culture and our nation and what's going on right now in grief, then surely we're asking you all to join with us and have your backbone and your ninja on and fight for this nation. This nation is worth it all. You all are worth it all. Your children are worth it all.
Maureen? Thank you.
We need to hold our lawmakers accountable. We need to demand that they enforce our immigration laws. We need to demand that they put the safety of American citizens ahead of illegal aliens. And please get out and vote and encourage others to vote.
Thank you. Like Cayenne said, it drains us.
Yeah.
I'm about minus empty 500. I want to leave you with a lasting image. This was the before. Funny guy, helping everybody, just an amazing young man. These are his dead, cold, bruised hands in the morgue. I get to touch him for the last time. Just take that in. The last time I got to touch my child and look at his bruises and imagine what his last thoughts were. And I want you to take this image with you. When you go home, when you talk, like Kyan said, when you go talk to people, you don't want this. You never want to know this. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, for being so supportive, so respectful.
Thank you.
Pray for us. We need all the prayers we can get to make it, to continue to talk, to continue to educate. Thank you, my angel moms. I'm so extremely proud of you, and I'm so blessed to be surrounded. This right here, if you could feel the energy going from hand to hand.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. It's a lifeline. I'm gassing up. It's like the Tesla, you plug it in.
Yes.
I'm getting more energy. I won't need the coffee, but I'm grateful for all of us who are out there, all the angel moms, all the dads who are out there pounding pavement, speaking, for the ones who don't have a voice, who have nobody. Contact us. Let us know. We can help you. We can be there to listen. We understand your pain. Anna, thank you so much for being here and giving your expertise, and I hope you get elected. We need somebody like you.
We need, yes.
And, and Ben, I see the pain in your face because you think of your girls. I appreciate you more than you will ever know for what you do and the education and the truth you put out there.
It's an honor.
And
go
home and love on your people, love on your kids.
I said I wasn't going to say anything, but you said it. This is a spiritual battle, and we need the Lord. It's time to get back to that.
Yeah.
We need to pray for this nation and stand on his behalf for his glory, but it's an honor to sit up here with you.
Thank you.
I wish I didn't have to.
Oh.
I was going to get. You didn't think I was going to get this without saying something, right? All right. First, my heart goes out to all the angel moms and dads. I want to thank you guys for the great work you're doing. You said just now you joined hands and you felt this great thing. So with your permission, if you don't mind, I would like to ask everybody in here if you would line up, please, and give these ladies a hug and let them know how much we care and we are going to fight for them. So come down here, ladies, if that's okay with you guys.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you. We
that's
get so
awesome.
much energy from that. Oh, thank you.
Wow, that's a stop.
All right, so listen, here's what I'm going to have to do with everybody. I hate to do this, but we're on a timeline. We don't have time to do this. And I apologize for that, but that's all right. That's all right. So if you could return to your seats, and what we'll have to do is there's going to be a gala later, and there'll be an opportunity for you all to meet and greet. So if you could, please return back to your seats so we can keep this going. And we really do have a special panel coming up next that I want you all to see this. It's going to be pretty spectacular. Okay, we're going to get moving. All right. You got it. And we got some glasses up here. I'll take these to the side. I'll meet you right.